Okay, so just take your time here getting settled in a comfortable meditation posture. And so one thing that can be nice is to put your phone on silent or do not disturb. And if we extend that idea, we kind of want to switch our selves into do not disturb. Or maybe you could think of it as we're just setting the intention that for the next half hour, there's no external things happening that we need to be concerned with. Maybe the only exception being if there's a fire alarm, the smoke detector goes off, you might want to do something about that. But anything else can wait. And so just starting with this intention to put all of that aside. And this doesn't mean there won't be thoughts of things from the past or the future, but just that reminder might help when they do come up to be able to let go of them. As you find your way into your posture and get settled, allow the body to come to a place of rest, sense of stillness. Now I invite you to take a deeper breath, breathing in deeply, breathing out and allowing the body to relax even just a little bit more. And feel free to do this a few times. Each breath becoming more relaxed. And we'll focus on rest and relaxation in this practice. And so sometimes this sense of rest, sense of relaxation comes easily. Other times it might not be so clear what to look for or how to feel that. And just notice as you settle in if there is any sense of relaxation. And this could be a kind of heaviness, the weight of just allowing the body to sink into the posture, be held up by whatever is supporting you. Allowing gravity to hold you in place. And relaxation could also be a sense of lightness, perhaps an airy quality. Could be a delicate sensation. And rest and relaxation could also be felt as the absence of tension, the absence of gripping, controlling, tensing. And then it might feel more spacious, open, empty. And so we'll come back to this. But for now, I'd like you to tune in to the sounds that you can hear. So there's the sound of my voice, the sound of the environment you're in, hearing other people or animals, vehicles, devices. And seeing if it's possible to notice the arising and passing of the sounds. And perhaps also tuning into the gaps between sounds. The space after a sound. Or tuning into the relative restfulness of a sound that is constant. I can hear the fan of my computer droning away. And the constancy of that sound feels quite restful to me. Noticing the restful quality of sounds, the gaps between them, the arising and passing. And now bringing your attention gently to the sensations of the body. Notice the feeling in your hands, where they feel warm or cool, where they feel heavy or light. Where it feels like there's space or an absence of tension. And then we'll try something new. Bring your attention to the tip of your nose. And notice in that spot, the tip of the nose, it's pretty tricky for there to be tension there. Generally, it's pretty relaxed, not much going on. just notice what it feels like in that part of the body, the tip of the nose, to feel that sense of rest, relaxation. And then allow your attention to move throughout the body, noticing whatever is prominent, whatever stands out. And again, keep in mind this sense of rest and relaxation. So where there is heaviness or lightness or spaciousness, seeing if you can enjoy the restful quality of that. And wherever you discover there's something that's not that restful, not that relaxed, see if you can just invite some of this relaxation that you might feel elsewhere, or you might have noticed in the sounds and listening. Just invite that rest and relaxation to spread. Invite a release. Relaxing, softening, and tuning in to rest and relaxation. Good. Now, as we transition here into the internal landscape, I'd like you to notice restfulness in the visual field. So if your eyes are open, noticing anything that's staying still or relatively consistent. If your eyes are closed, noticing darkness or perhaps some light in the visual field behind closed eyelids, or a sense of spaciousness as you look into that space that we often consider as being blank. You might actually notice some details there with an overall restful quality. It's dark or lightly coloured. And just tuning into this relative lack of activity. And perhaps even a sense of peacefulness. Or a stillness. And now I'd like you to tune in to mental activity. So there's quite likely to be some combination of mental images and mental sound. So thoughts taking the form of visual or sonic sensations. And see if you can just notice when there is activity and when there is restfulness. You might notice when a thought arises or when it passes. You might notice a gap between thoughts. When you go to look, you might actually notice there's no thoughts, and you can just tune into this open space. If you feel like you're getting caught up in thoughts, no problem. Whenever you notice, see if you can just step back to observe the space of thoughts, where these thoughts occur, that mental screen, or the space between the ears. Noticing when the mind is active and when it's at rest. And again, the mind can also feel heavy or light or spacious. Seeing if you can notice rest and relaxation there. What is it like to deeply relax the mind? Good. And the final instruction here is to notice that no matter whether the mind is active or at rest, there is an awareness that is present. There is a knowing occurring. And this awareness is always there. And it doesn't matter whether there is a sensation or a thought. The awareness is always there. Knowing the experience. This awareness is boundless, spacious, open and clear. And if you can notice this awareness, to tune into it, you can simply rest in awareness. Rest into that stillness before the mind moves, grasps onto something, tries to change the experience. Rest into this awareness, which comes before all of the sounds, sensations, thoughts. This awareness that is perfectly still, but knowing. Letting go of any attachment to sensations, thoughts, to the sense of self, to being the meditator. Simply resting. Nice work, everyone. And as you come out of the formal practice, you might notice that you can keep a sense of restfulness